there it is. A little phoenix for you there, Marcus. No riffing. We got to get right to Logan Webb.
No riff, Smurf.
Webby, dude.
How you doing?
A familiar
Logan.
face.
What's up, guys?
We're interviewing all these kids.
I know.
It's nice to see someone we know.
The savvy vet, Logan
Yeah.
Webb.
It's my 7th year doing this with you guys.
Is that it? I mean,
Think so.
you're, dude. It's like in the living room. We're just hanging out.
It's a high school reunion. Shout out Rockland High School.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So, how's life, man? How's the camp of a veteran?
It's good. There's a lot of positive vibes going on right now. There's a lot of new guys coming in there that are just good vets to have, good players to have, and it's been a lot of fun.
It seems like there's a little bit of a different tone this year, especially first day of camp. Buster Posey speaks to the team. What was that message, and what's the mentality going into the season?
Yeah, I think similar to the one that he had in 21 as a player. It was kind of, set the tone early, have some lofty goals. Goal isn't to sneak in; it's to win the West and to try to play for a World Series. And that was the tone we had in 21. I don't know why we went away from that, but that's Buster for you. You wanted to run through a brick wall after that.
Yeah, he's right. I remember when we did that book I interviewed you for the Buster book. You talked about him glowingly. You were younger then. You were maybe a little more in awe. I don't know because it was 5 years ago, but you kept saying that phrase, the Giants way. You said that to me in that book, and I've heard you say it now in interviews. Can you just give us a little bit about that? To you, what is the Giants way, and how does Buster sort of instill that?
Yeah, I feel like I keep seeing that too, right? I've probably said it a couple of times.
It's good though. I like it.
I came up. There was a certain way. I was drafted in 2014, and even in the minor leagues, there was a certain way that we did things. It was different than other organizations. And I think that started with Buster, right? He was there in 10, 12, 14, all these guys. To me, that was just got away from it a little bit. Not, sometimes it was a good thing. It hadn't, I was only here in 19, 20, 21, but, still hadn't won a decent amount even before that after 2014. So, but I think it's getting back to those years of doing the right things. I think you have to win a certain way in San Francisco, and that's doing the little things. It's great pitching, good starting pitching, good relief pitching, and playing great defense. And I don't think we're going to outslug everybody. I don't think that's what we do. I don't think that's what we should try to do. And I think we're maybe trying to chase some different things that we have in the past that I think if we get back to, not saying that we're not going to slug, right? You bring in a guy who averages 30 home runs in Willie Adames. Chappie hits a lot of home runs. Ramos is going to hit a lot of home runs. There's a lot of power in the lineup. I'm not saying there isn't, but I think just aiming for that is not the right way of doing things. And it's the same on the pitching side. I think getting back to, what those guys did really well. I think the Giants have a rich tradition of great starting pitching. And I think I don't know the numbers, but I would probably say we were middle of the pack the last couple of years, and getting back to really good starting pitching is going to be huge.
Yeah, let's talk pitching and defense because you have one of the highest ground ball rates in Major League Baseball. So you got to be feeling pretty confident about the left side of your infield. You had Matt Chapman on the hot corner last year, but now you got Willie Adames playing shortstop.
Yeah, I've watched Willie from afar for a couple years now, and it's really good defense. It's he's a leader out there. You move in a guy like Fitzy, who played great shortstop last year, to second base, and you got two really good first basemen in Lamont and Flo over there as well. So I think just for me as a ground ball guy, it's kind of a pitcher's dream to have. And even in the outfield, right? You got Yaz running around, Jung Hoo running around, and Ramos running around. I think it's a pretty good. And then I can't forget Patrick Bailey. So that's a great start. I think that's more of what we do well, and I think we're getting back to that. So it's fun for me to see. Hopefully, I pitch Sunday, so hopefully all those guys are in there. They probably won't be, but yeah, I think once we start getting into camp and seeing it going, I think your guys are gonna people, fans, you guys, they're going to like what they see.
Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but it felt like you mixed in a few more four-seamers last year, going away from maybe your traditional two-seamer. What's the strategy there when you're looking for a ground ball, looking for a little bit of extra velocity, or your balance between going two-seam versus a four-seam?
Yeah, I think. Last year was just a little weird. The year before I was heavy changeup. I feel like every year's been a little different, right? I think in 21 it was more my slider, in 22 it was more my sinker. Then it went to the changeup in 23. Then last year I threw my sinker a lot, but the changeup was just a pitch that wasn't up to par that I expected. And that comes with pitching more in the big leagues. That's more teams I've faced. You face every team now, so it's not like it's not random anymore. And I've got 30 at bats against some guys, so it's playing that cat and mouse game. That's what's fun about it. That's why I sit there and I pick the brains of Justin and Robbie and some older guys that have done it and how they, you have to kind of not create new things, but you have to just give different looks. Especially a guy like me, I'm not going to be a guy that's going to strike out 250 guys. I wish I do talk to Justin and Robbie, but at the same time, like Justin and Robbie can still go out there and the hitter knows it's a four seam and they still might miss it, right? Whereas mine's a little different. Guys are making adjustments, and I think last year the big adjustment was the changeup. They were all kind of staying at the bottom of the zone and showing them just something different at the top of the zone. Not saying I'm going to be a big four seam guy. I do have a new cutter that I'm throwing. I threw a lot at the end of the year. But even at the end of the year, I don't think you should expect me to throw cutters 20 times a game like I did. But it's just a different wrinkle. I think that's the name of the game, is just kind of adapt. And I think that it's going to be just a fun thing that I can add to it. And then obviously getting the changeup back to what it was, I think is important. It was a little different shape last year.
It's all good stuff. Love talking shop with Logan Webb, who debuted back in 2019, man. Different era, pre-COVID and all that stuff. I'm looking at this. We get these great bios the Giants do for us. This thing jumps out at me, this picture of you from the 2021 postseason where you were awesome. By the way, in case anybody forgets, 14 and 2/3 innings, one Ernie in 2 starts against the Dodgers. I mean, it was just electric stuff, and you're coming off the mound, you're screaming. And I guess the question is, I think, is it only you and Wilmer Flores? Are you guys the only ones left, or am I forgetting?
No, Yaz was there.
Oh, Yaz.
Lamont was also
okay.
there.
Yeah, my brain.
Tyrod was there. Doval was there.
So there's a lot of you.
Yeah.
All right, I guess what I was getting at was you guys know what it was like to play in that.
Yeah.
And then maybe, I don't want to say you lost your way, but the last 3 years, no. So I'm wondering if that's you said Buster's message was, why not 2021? So you guys can tell them, hey, we've done this. Look, here's a picture of me beating the Dodgers, right?
Yeah. I think a big part of that 2021 team was Buster being there, right? To this day, the best player I've ever played with. It's incredible what he did on a baseball field, and that year especially. So, but there was the way you went about your day, the way you went about your business on the field. It was all Buster, right? He was that dad you wanted to. You wanted to impress. You wanted to be good for him, right? You didn't want to disappoint him, especially as a starting pitcher, a young starting pitcher. I was like, man, I better do good today because Buster might not talk to me for 4 to 5 days. But yeah, there was there's an expectation that you were going to go out there and give it your all. And, I think one of the best things Buster was he was great at not only hitting in big situations and crucial situations, he was great at catching in those situations. He knew we play a lot of close games in San Francisco. There's a lot of one-run games. Bomel kind of pointed out, I think we played, I don't know the right number, it was 80 or 90 3-run games last year. It's a lot. And in San Francisco, you're going to play those, and you got to be good at those situations. And I think there's not that there wasn't an emphasis on it, but I think there's a bigger emphasis on it this year, of a bigger, more attention to detail in those situations on offense and on defense. And as as pitchers, we got to be smart about what we're doing. You face a lot of the game's just getting more and more there's a lot of good players. There's a lot of good teams, especially in our division. So it's like being smart in certain situations. So I think that's been a bigger emphasis.
What's it been like for you going from pitching to Buster Posey to pitching to a Gold Glover like Patrick Bailey? And do you see any similarities between the two?
Yeah, they're different, I would say. I don't think I think it's unfair to try and compare. I think it was unfair kind of what we did to Joey Bart in a certain way, because no one's Buster Posey. I mean, he's one of the best catchers of all time. But Patty has the abilities to be one of those guys in his own way. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna get myself in trouble here.
Don't worry, there's only 3 cameras
Yeah.
and 2
It's
mics.
just us, Logan.
No,
it's just us.
The crazy thing is I think even Buster would probably tell you that maybe Patty's an even better defensive player than he was, right? I think Patty is pretty special back there. I wouldn't say Patty's there hitting yet. Buster was pretty damn good hitter. But I think they're great in different ways, and that's what makes them so special. So I think the big thing for Patty is he's trying to get even better at calling games and knowing those little situations I'm talking about. And I think that's why I'm excited, because the whole camp is feeling that way.
Definitely, you've established a theme in this interview about accomplishing something the way Buster set it out. I get it. I'm picking up what you're laying down, buddy. I like it. I know we got to let you go, and Willie Adames is coming. So you've been awesome, but I just got to say we got beef tonight now. We got beef.
Ooh.
Up in
Warriors
Warriors
Kings.
Kings, man.
Oh, they're playing tonight?
Yeah, there's a
How you
matchup
didn't
tonight.
know? Is that how you've checked out on the Kings that much?
No, not that I checked out. I just the All-Star break was.
Yeah, it's a long
Yeah,
All-Star
it's
break,
a
yeah.
long break. And your thoughts on
Oh.
De'Aaron Fox in that trade?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who? We'll
You guys
see.
are we're coming for you.
March
Jimmy
7th.
Butler's coming for you, Logan. Be ready.
Yeah, March 7th. That's when De'Aaron comes back to town. So
Okay.
All right.
see how that
Just
goes.
wanted to make sure we established the beef before you left here tonight.
Yeah. I'm always light the beam. Come on.
There we go. And then real quick out the door, thoughts on Pete Carroll and the Raiders?
Oh, I'm excited about that. I don't. I think Pete's one of those guys that he wins everywhere he goes. So I think it's gonna. He's a. I know his age. He's a little older than most coaches, but I think he can. You still watch him run around, and even that press conference, it was kind of the same thing. Like Buster coming in, he's like, you kind of want to run through a wall for the guy, because. And then you got Marshawn yelling and stuff. That was cool.
You guys are on the way back. You're
yeah.
on the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, look. Always a pleasure, buddy.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
Thank
Be
you.
good,
Always a
man.
blast.
Be
Thanks,
good.
Logan.
I'm gonna get in trouble with Buster, by the way. Now he's gonna get mad at me.
This guy's he's our digital guy. He'll make it a headline.
Yeah, I know.
Webby colon.
Yeah, please
Bailey
don't.
way
Please-
better than
No,
Buster.
please don't do that. Please don't do that.
Austin, don't do him bad. Don't do him bad, buddy. All right, on
Awesome.
KNBR.
Thanks,
Willie
Logan.
Adames next on the Sports Leader.